Hello, 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 hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in the world. I am Rebecca Nichols, and this is my Royal Treat podcast. And this podcast is more about the birth struggles that we experience when we are born. We're all born into struggle. Isn't that a shame? But the truth is, most of us are born into some kind of struggle. It's very rare to see that actually a child has been created with pure love and intention and has come into the world in which nature intended. And by what I mean by that is, through the birth canal. You've got to think about it. I mean, I deal with metaphysics, so I deal with a lot of stuff that's outside our normal paradigm, as you call it, what we call reality. I deal with alternative realities and stuff that your eyes can't see, and that's part of my gift as a healer, is to be able to look beyond the flesh. So if you look at the metaphysics behind the actual meaning of birth and why it's called a canal, it's because that's where all life flows and starts. And it's a portal from an unknown world. I mean, before you were born, when you were living and existing in your mother's womb, being created, and it's fascinating, because I'm kind of like a little bit deeper than most in your average. You can sit and talk to me about alternative universes and planets and stars and life after death, and I could sit there and talk to you about all that all night. So when I think about when we were being created, I think that there was an intention before we were born to be here. A lot of us don't understand that intention was there to be here even before we were born. It was all happening before it was happening, So that's powerful in itself, that you actually are here for a purpose, that you were meant to be here. And if you want to get a little bit deeper, I mean, how far does a rabbit hole go? You've got 1 in 400 trillion chances that you're alive. That's the chance of you actually being here. You're a living, breathing, walking, talking miracle. So I think you need to feel that, and I want you to feel that every single day. I feel that. I have glimpses and moments of being and feeling like my life is a miracle. And just feeling in the space that you're in, that you are supposed to be here. So I'm going to talk to you about the third birth struggle, which is all about if you were kind of had a long, slow labour. Well, not you. Your mother, she went through 18 hours of excruciating pain. My mum said, actually, I was very quick, but I was extremely painful. But I wasn't long. I was kind of like over and done with pretty quickly, but I was painful. She suffered a lot of pain from having me. Sorry about that, Mum. But anyway, yes, you can feel very much held back in life. Your slow start to life means that you might feel that you're being held back from your potential. So that's a real feeling, because that is exactly what happened, right? So you might constantly feel the need to prove yourself in this life. I'll show you. Yeah, I think I was, I'm a bit of an I show you person before. I'm not so much of an I show you person now. But I've encountered I show you people, and they're so headstrong and stubborn. They're stubborn because they want to be in that room still, really, don't they? They're not coming out. No, it's going to stay in here. So, do you feel stuck or blocked? Do you get like massive breakthroughs all the time? And breaking through isn't always a good thing. Everyone thinks, oh yeah, I'm breaking through. I had a breakthrough. But who wants to live their life like that? Like constantly having to break through stuff in order for a sense of achievement. You got to like look at it in a sense of, we're here to live this life abundantly. Power, grace, ease, and I'll talk about the power and the grace and the ease when we move up to the solar plexus chakra. But do we really want to be going through like a pace where we're kind of like we're going okay, we're moving through and everything seems to be going okay, or we get stuck and then we have to break through, and then there's another barrier, and there's another barrier. And life isn't intended to be like that, by the way. I mean, I think there will be challenges, but I think in even in the midst of our challenges, we can find grace and we can find ease, because that's important. And the reason why it's important is that we are here for everyday joy, everyday living standards. I created love standards as part of my book, In the Journey to Queendom, which I share a little bit about my perspective on things and how I think we should be living our daily lives, because I think when it comes down to it, it is all about the little things. It's always going to be about the little things, and it's always going to be about, you know, how we're waking up and feeling every morning, and what we're setting the intention for that day, how we're getting through that day, whose lives are we touching, how are we inspiring others, what good we're putting out into the world, you know, aligning with our purpose and feeling passionate in our everyday living. We can't just be living for weekends and summers and better days, or, you know, future self. That's anxiety, isn't it, really, when you think about it? So, yeah, coming back to the breakthrough thing, I don't think always it's a good thing. I think we need to just be a bit more stabilised, a bit more harmonious, and find the grace and ease in our everyday life. So that's my perspective on things. You can feel that maybe you're a little bit claustrophobic, or you procrastinate. I mean, look, procrastination, I think, is something that we've all experienced and will continue to experience at some point in our life. I don't know anyone who hasn't procrastinated in their lives. And for me, procrastination, here's how I deal with it. I just own it and see it. And it's great if you have a coach to call you out on your bullshit. And I'm quite good with my clients, because they just kind of be like, oh yeah, I am going to do that, but, and I go, fucking but, are you kidding me? I'm not hearing no buts from you. I'm not interested in the but. Tell me the reason. What's the real reason? Really, why don't you want to do this? And I call them out and I get them to the root of it, because actually when we dissect our demons, and that's what it is, that's what it's really boiling down to, we can figure out what they're feeding off. And if we can figure out what they're feeding off, we can not feed them. Great, because we've owned it. We've got the darkness right in front of you then, and you're kind of going, oh, right, okay, that's why I do what I do. I used to be quite cynical. Yeah, believe it or not, Mrs. Positivity Pants over here. Cynical and resigned. I never had any faith or belief in myself that I was able to do what I needed to do and to become the person I am today. I would never believe that I'd be able to come on here and do podcasts and share videos and go live and share content, and that my content was going to be good enough. I still have doubts about myself. And you've probably read my content. You've probably gone through my website and you probably think, oh my God, this is pretty awesome. And all this stuff I've done myself, single-handedly. Superwoman over here. But, you know, I've worked hard the past 2-3 years to become this person, to be able to create this content, to create the platform, to build my social media. I've done it because I know this is my purpose, so I haven't stopped. And that's the difference. Once you know who you are and why you're here, there isn't anything that's going to get in your way for you to achieve what you need to achieve, except you, basically. That's what it boils down to. So that's the self-sabotage. And we all have a level of self-sabotage. And it's not anyone who hasn't self-sabotaged their life at some point. I kind of did it for like 20 years. It was pretty tragic. But I feel that, you know, that's all part of the journey too. That I had to go through so much darkness to be able to work in the dark. Because I do work in the dark. Most light workers do work in the dark. Because that's where we are needed. I mean, it's all very well working with the light workers, but it's all very egomaniac and it's all very dogmatic, and we're all kind of like, oh yes, aren't we all lovely and wonderful? Yes, and spiritual and intentions and love and peace and prosperity, da 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 da. But no, we're needed in the dark. We're needed in the dark because people need us. Some people are in darkness, and that's where I'm needed. I'm not going to go hang around with a bunch of people that are in the light. Although I love you all light workers. I mean, and if you're listening to this and you are a light worker, you understand what I'm saying. We're needed in the dark. I'm not going to make this about me or go into that. There's some various different stories I can share with you along this journey, and I'm sure that things will pop up and that I will want to share with you. But, I just feel that I've come through 20 years of darkness, and I haven't gone through 20 years of darkness not to be able to share that, because there's now a possibility for my life that wasn't there before. And I know that because I've simply taken steps and taken action and actually said, no, this is who I want to be and this is what I'm here to do. So you have to ask yourself those same questions. What am I here to do? My soul has a purpose. So what am I here to do? Because I am here to do something. And only you can really discover that. Okay, only you can really discover that. So if you're one of them people who you are being held back, or you feel that you're being held back, and that's your birth struggle, you were kind of left in that womb for a bit too long, or the labour was a bit too long for you, and you feel that you are constantly coming up against things and getting stuck, there is ways that you can overcome this through this program. In my full program, which again is a 7-week program. And if you're listening to this, you're part of my 7-week program, then you'll know that you just need to go ahead and do the reframes. They'll make sense. Reframing is is your new expressive language. So now you know what your birth struggle is, and you know what you say about yourself, and you kind of own it. Then you have to say new things, and I'll give you an example. I'm here. I'm safe to go at any speed. I can go fast or slow or any speed that suits me. You say this to yourself because you are creating this reality, and you're in control of everything. Everything is all on you. So you take back the responsibility for your life, and you get back in the driving seat. It's okay. You've been away for a long time. Some of you've been away for a long time from your lives. You've been checking in and out here and there, but you haven't really been present. And maybe you're stepping into a new space. And so this is the person that you need to be now. And you're owning it. And I applaud you for coming into this space and wanting to own it, because that's what you're here to do. You might feel that others hold you back, and so you'd rather go alone. And that's understandable. But we've got to understand that we all need a support network. I've abandoned a lot of people, not because they do hold me back, but because they're toxic, and there's difference. You've got to know certain things. We all need support. We all need people around us. You've all got to find our tribe. And I think it's okay to ask for support. I've had to ask for support, and that's also been a bit of an ego thing where I've not wanted to ask for support. So it's a bit of a pride thing. And I think, trying to do it all on our own isn't easy, and it's not possible. And I've done a lot on my own, but also at the same time, I've had to put my hands up and go, I'm only human. So let me go and get some help, especially when it comes to my mental health, which I'll probably talk a lot more about further on down the line when we get to sort of, those chakras where it affects your mental health and anxiety and depression. Again, these were all part of my dark days, and I welcome those days. I literally welcome those days. I'm actually grateful for those days. They've made me the woman I am today. So, if you've gone through darkness, I want you to know it's okay. It's okay to have gone through some darkness in your life. Doesn't make you a bad person. You may have mistakes. You may have regrets. I regret some of the things I've done, but, I couldn't change them. Why would I? No, I'm not going to be that person that's going to live with regrets. It's not worth it. Life is very short. We're here to do some great work, so let's just crack on and get some shit done, shall we? No point dwelling. Anyhow, my time is almost up. I love it how they pop up and tell me that, because I would ramble on all night. So guys, please, go through what I'm posting in the group. Please check into the podcasts. I'm going to be doing a live video tomorrow as well, talking a little bit more about nutrition and exercise and how it's connected to our root chakra. Yeah, and just stay in the magic, baby. Stay in the magic. Take care. Lots of love.